And I think what is going on is we are shifting the big ideas that drive American agriculture. This is a speech I gave a couple days ago to landscape architects. The first, they're like either big ideas or imperatives. The first idea of American agriculture was settlement.
I'm sorry, they're either big ideas or imperatives?
Imperatives,
okay.
like concepts that must be accomplished. America spent 100 years settling the land just to prove that Westerners could live here. Then we went into an expansion phase, like the mid-1700s to mid to late 1800s. We knew we could live in America, but we didn't know if we could expand into the West and all over. So about 1859, when Lincoln gave that speech, it was the beginning of the industrial phase of agriculture. And there are facilitators to each of these phases. The facilitator of the settlement phase was the explorer. The facilitator of the expansion phase was the sheriff, the U.S. Marshal, and the U.S. Army.
The settlement phase being the original settling of America.
You had to have an explorer first to show you where the land was. Then you settled it. And you had to have the U.S. Army push back the Indians before you could settle the West. And the facilitators of the industrial phase were the land grants. You had to have the professors to tell you how to make the machines.
The land grant universities?
The land grant universities and their specialists. So we're now just about at the end of the industrial imperative of American agriculture. And we don't know exactly what the next one will be. It'll probably be sustainability. We know we can produce a lot of food, and we now know that we can produce in America a tremendous amounts of food with a much less industrial system, using internal resources, not as much fertilizer, pesticides that are very much less or evaporate in a short time. And my contention, which is that the facilitators of this sustainable imperative are not going to be the land grants. They fought against it, and there's no way that they can invent new ideas because they're so specialized. So the facilitators of the sustainable period are what I call systematicians. There are some people now, this is why at the Rodale Research Center we are focusing on systems research. And we're not only inventing systems, but we're inventing the craft of systems theory in agriculture. And there's other people doing it too, but the only people who can help sustainable agriculture are those who think beyond their one discipline. And it could be, usually these imperatives of American agriculture last for 100 years. My hope is that the period of sustainability will not be sustained for more than 10 or 15 years, but that we will move beyond that into the idea of regeneration, where what we're really doing with the American land is not only producing our food, but regenerating and improving, reforming to a higher level the American landscape and the American spirit. And the facilitators of that imperative will be what I call meta-systematicians. People who, there's not one that exists right now, but they're people who know systems theory and the whole system of growing food and living, but can also carry it beyond into the spirit as well.
I sense that you feel optimistic for the future, that you would like someone viewing this film in 50 years from now to be talking from a meta-systematic viewpoint or watching from that viewpoint.
Right. Well, I'm very optimistic. I've always been an optimist, and I think this is a time of tremendous optimism. Should be for everybody. Like the headlines, like we're trying to cut all this money out of the defense budget. fewer stealth bombers, and
We're seeing a lot of changes in the world, not just
Yeah.
in the U.S. government.